After over 50 years, the original Alice Cooper band has finally gotten back together to release a new album, The Revenge of Alice Cooper. Let's talk about it here on the Vinyl Jukebox. What's up everyone, it's Ben from the Vinyl Jukebox, and before we get started, don't forget to leave a like and a comment below this video, subscribe to my channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of my videos. Alright, so first off, let's go through a little bit of background information. This album was released this past Friday, July 25th, 2025, and it's the 8th studio album by the original Alice Cooper group. Their last studio album was Muscle of Love in 1973, but this was Alice's 30th overall studio album with his solo work combined, and I assume his Hollywood Vampires work combined as well. So Alice has been very, very busy over his career. I guess he's getting up there with Neil Young in terms of quantity of releases for sure. This was released by newmusic, who Alice has been working with for quite a while. Produced by longtime Alice Cooper collaborator, the legendary bobezrin. He worked on Billion Dollar Babies, Love It to Death, and he's also done the past few Alice studio albums, so you'll recognize a lot of that in the overall sound of this album for sure. Alice's last album, Road, features members of Alice's touring band. So this one, he recorded around the same time. He wanted to include members of the original Alice Cooper band, so the surviving members. So just like I said, this features the surviving members of Alice's original band, obviously minus original guitarist Glenn Buxton, who sadly passed away in 1997. But some guitar tracks of his were used in the song What Happened to You, so Glenn was featured on this album, which I thought was really great. So just running through the members here, we have Alice Cooper on lead vocals and harmonica, obviously, Michael Bruce on rhythm guitar, Dennis Dunaway on bass, Neil Smith drums, and to make up for the fact that Glenn Buxton wasn't there to record this album, they have guitarists, and I'm going to butcher this name for sure, Giassi Hughes and Rick Tedesco filling in for Glenn Buxton on the lead guitar. And what's really cool is, and I'll talk about this a little later, Robbie Krieger from The Doors actually is featured on this album as well, so that's pretty cool. But overall, this album has a stripped down, raw Alice sound, very similar to his last album, Road. I thought that was pretty stripped down too, but this one is even more stripped down. And this fits in perfectly with any of their original material. I actually put on Muscle of Love right after I listened to this one for the first time, and I was like, wow, this picks up right where they left off for sure. Horror themes throughout. I mean, you have that horror sci-fi kind of stuff that Alice is known for, so he never strays away from that. But this album just sounds so familiar. I mean, it's nothing that would surprise you. If anything, it's something that would make you smile. I mean, if you're a true Alice fan, this is really what you've been waiting for all these years. So let's take a look inside the album over here. I put it over here. What I really like just right off the bat is that they use this kind of like old horror movie poster idea for their front cover. Over here we see the band members, and the band members are kind of turned into horror characters, so that's really cool. And there's some really funny quotes here as well on the front cover. The original band, 14 songs, Is There No Mercy? Deeply disturbing, do we really need this? My soul needs a shower, bubonic plague, Black Death, polio, COVID, and now this. And then you get the return album, The World Was Afraid Of. So I love this album artwork for sure. Back cover here, we have our track listing. Like I said earlier, newmusic. So looking inside at the gatefold, now this album is double 45, so each side is 45 RPM. I made that mistake when putting it on the turntable for the first time. He did that. I don't know if he did that on the Road album. Let me know in the comments below if you bought that. I have that on CD, so I wouldn't know. But I know that on his 2 albums ago, the Detroit Stories album, Alice did the double 45, and that would mess me up all the time too. But this just has a beautiful gatefold here. I mean, you got that image of the snake, then you have information about the tracks, and over here, nice and big, it says dedicated to our brother Glenn Buxton. So really nice, but I just love the artwork on this album. And I know that you guys can't tell from the video, but the texture is this matte finish, and I love when bands do that. I love seeing that. Inside, no booklet, but we do have lyrics on the inner sleeves. We have each band member's cartoon picture on the inner sleeves with the lyrics. And I picked up, and I actually had to cancel my pre-order because my pre-order was delayed, so I had to pick this up at a local shop, but I just got the regular black wax. I know that they did a yellow version. They did a CD box set with a bonus 7-inch, which would be cool to pick up at some point. There we go. And we got the other pictures of the band members there. What would have been cool is to have a little, like, you know, movie rendition picture of Glenn Buxton as well, but this is the direction they decided to go in. But I love this cover. I think this is so cool. Nice comeback for the band for sure. And let's go into some standout tracks here. So I think that this album starts out guns blazing. I think that this album has more great tracks than tracks. The album starts out with Black Mamba, which was the first single release, and this song really got me excited for the album. It's very haunting, very creepy, slithering type of song, really good bass riff. And this one features, like I said, Robbie Krieger from The Doors on lead guitar. It's very catchy. The chorus, I know some people don't like the yeah, 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 but I kind of do. Second song here, Wild Ones, very fast-paced rocker, kind of reminds me of riding on your motorcycle down the road. Great guitar riff. Up All Night is probably my favorite song on the album. That's song number 3, track number 3. Down and dirty guitar riff. Doesn't really have any... It doesn't really give the full effect when you're streaming this album, I felt. When I streamed it, I was like, okay, you know, this song's pretty good. But then when I listened to the record, I mean, that guitar riff really stands out. It's really low end. So I guess that's why streaming didn't pick it up so well. But man, I mean, I don't know how it is on the CD, but on the vinyl, that song Up All Night, the second song, really killer if you turn that up, that guitar riff. Another standout track for me was Kill the Flies. That song has a really cool groove, really kind of like humorous lyrics about wanting to kill flies, dark and demented for sure, and reminiscent of old Alice. I mean, that sounds like that Love It to Death era Alice with that sense of dark humor there. One thing that I wanted to note as well for this album was that backing vocals are heavily used throughout. I mean, we've got harmonies, kind of like, I don't want to say doo-wop kind of backing vocals, but you get a lot of ooh, up, like, yeah. Kind of reminiscent of some of the stuff he used to do, but, you know, it's interesting that they decided to do that. Bobezrin actually does a lot of the backing vocals on this album, too, which is interesting. One Night Stand is another standout track for me, kind of like a spooky 60s style surf riff, like kind of that like creepy surf kind of style. Alice's vocals really remind me of Iggy Pop's at times on that song. Another song that really stood out for me was Crap That Gets in the Way of Your Dreams. You know, I just love that line. But the guitar riff is really killer. Kind of like snotty lyrics, like he's kind of, Alice is channeling a snotty little teenager when he sings that song. So I like that, kind of cool, kind of punk sounding. A couple other tracks that stood out to me, Famous Face, Money Scream. So overall, I have to say, my bottom line, this is a fantastic album from the original group. I mean, I think that this is better than we could have ever expected from the group. I mean, Alice continues to put out great album after great album. So to be honest, I really didn't expect anything less because of his solo output and how good that is. I mean, working with Bobezrin too, I mean, you really can't go wrong. And Alice and the group are showing no age. I mean, Alice sounds as good as ever. The playing is great on this album. I know they have a few extra musicians working with them, but I mean, I think that the playing is great. And like I said, they have not skipped a beat from 50 plus years ago when they recorded their last album. It's a great send-off for the original band. I really don't anticipate that they're going to follow this up anytime soon with another album or even a tour. I don't think that they're going to follow it up. I think this is kind of like a one-off kind of thing. But it's a fun side trip from Alice's solo work for sure. I mean, Alice is consistently putting out albums every 2-3 years. So it's nice when he does something a little bit different. But I'd love to see this band, this version of the band, play a small club or a theater. Maybe they'll do like some sort of small run. That would be really cool in support of this album, because I do think these songs would match up really well live with some of the old material, and they have gotten together to play. I know they did that live from the AstroTurf live album, so it would be cool to see that. But like I've been saying, it's kind of unlikely, since Alice is going to be touring with Judas Priest in the fall, which I'm going to that show, really excited because I've never seen Judas Priest. But overall for this album, I mean, the Revenge of Alice Cooper, I'd recommend this for any Alice fan, any hard rock fan. I mean, this is just killer. It's great that we're getting this kind of output from Alice at this age. I think he's 77 at this point. But this is just a killer album, and if you haven't heard it already, you need to listen to it. Alice Cooper, The Revenge of Alice Cooper, the return of the original band. Great stuff, everybody. But let me know in the comments, what do you guys think? Have you heard the new album? What do you think of its sound? Do you think it matches up with some of the old material? Definitely let me know in the comments below, and I'd love to talk to you guys about it. And if you haven't done so already, folks, please be sure to leave a like and a comment below this video, subscribe to my channel, turn on notifications, share the video, all that good stuff, and I will see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.